It's been almost 7 years since a little-known game, Pirates of the Caribbean Online, was shut down in 2013. 13 years since the game launched, and just in 2015 a project to emulate the game, The Legend of Pirates Online, was started. The emulator would eventually go live with a closed alpha later that year and an open beta in 2017. Now the game has been having a little bit of an issue with keeping people playing. I would take a look at player statistics, but that's just not possible. There's no records or timeline of the number of players or any other statistics online. The best we have is a post on the TLOPO website in 2017. It states that at the time they had around 350 people online at any given time, and that when they released an update to the game, that number would peak at 1,092. It was around this time that the game would have a population of over 700 on most days. Now in 2020, you're looking at around the 280s at certain times of the day, a far cry from the numbers that had been achieved before. But why? The game has been updated constantly, and they're even promising a new PvP game mode, capture the chest, and a lobby system for the game. But none of that has seemed to get people to keep playing the game. If there's an update, more people might come in, but they're not being retained. In order to find out why, we need to look at the core gameplay and content of Pirates Online. Whether we like it or not, it's essentially a kid's game, an MMO light, if you will. It's a very simple game when compared to others in the genre. Simple clicks for attacks, not many fleshed out systems in the game at all. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The game doesn't need to be complex, it can still be entertaining for as long as you're playing the story and completing the quests. The problem is that there just isn't enough story or quests to go around. What do you do once you've completed everything? Once you've maxed out a character, skills and all? Are you going to sit and keep killing enemies on a game for loot every time you get on it? Maybe some of you would, and I know that people do exactly that, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to take part in essentially a random number generator like a slot machine just waiting for that payout. And I know that most people who have either left this game or haven't even played it yet wouldn't want to either. So what's the solution here? Making another story quest? Wouldn't work. As I've said before, people will come to play and then just leave again. You would need a constant stream of new quests and content to keep people playing. That's achievable for an actual sizable development team, not for TLOPO's volunteer staff. Now here's what I would do, which is really a pipe dream. Incentivize players to interact with each other. Build a system that's sustainable. First, implement some sort of trading system, which TLOPO is planning to do anyways. With that, I would also construct some sort of world economy. A difficult task for sure, but until it happens, there's no real value to gold in the game. Sure, it's needed for ship purchasing and customization, but what else? If trading is implemented without making gold a higher value, then the overwhelming majority of trades would just be bartering different items and weapons between individuals. This may be enough for some people, but I don't think that would fix the issues that the game currently faces. Create a global market, with trading posts on each of the main islands for people to buy and sell aside from normal trading. With this should also come an increase in the amount of gold a player can have, and a bank system. Give players and guilds bank accounts to store gold or even items in. This would take a rehaul of the guild system. You would have to let the guild master or co-GM pick those that would have access to the bank, or just let certain ranks like officer have access. With a bank system that's linked to guilds, this would leave the door open for things in the future like guild bases and such funded from the bank. Now here's where things get real exciting. Taxes. You heard that right. Have a tax for items sold at the trading posts on the islands. An extremely radical idea, but one that could pay off immensely if implemented properly. Have different taxes for different islands, and then link guilds to the tax system. Here's how it would go. Each guild can compete for control of the islands on different oceans. Whatever guild ends up with control of the island would have the ability to set the tax and collect it, with it going straight to the guild bank. To determine what guilds control an island, two guilds would fight in something I envision being a little similar to capture the chest. Except in my version, there would be two phases to the battle for control over an island. A sea battle, with each guild trying to rack up the highest score, then the land battle, with the attacking team trying to capture the island. A very complex and complicated system, I know. Chances of it being implemented? Slim, I'm aware. But changes such as these would pay off immensely. Currently, there's nothing in the game to keep people playing. There's nothing encouraging sustainable player interaction. Nothing driving guilds to be competitive. It's why, as a community, from the days of POTCO to now, we have always developed our own ways to keep ourselves entertained, whether that was role-playing as countries or anything else. It just comes to a point where the game is so lacking that it's a chore to make yourself play. But the responsibility of reviving a game like this can't all be on the developers. Anyone playing right now has the ability to do something to bring a little life back into the game. Organize more events, get your guilds to interact with each other, start some new rivalries. Anything. We've been watching the community slowly die over years, and it's on its last legs now. Unless something is done, it won't survive.